Keith!
We're watching the game.
The culprit. How long have you been wanting me to do this challenge?
Months.
Years.
Years.
Are you gonna be doing the challenge with me?
No.
Why not?
I don't want to.
I don't want to either.
Well, you gotta make a video.
I just want the people to know that this was your idea. And so if things don't go well, we know who to blame.
No, you can only blame yourself.
I'm gonna blame my ligaments. Fabulous. Fabulous. Here we go. Oh my gosh. I literally wish I was kidding right now. This is about as far as I can go. I don't even know how I'm gonna get out, actually. I don't know. I don't know what to do. It's gonna hurt. Ah! Don't try this at home. I think this one's a little bit better, to be fair. We're about here. If I did this, all I feel is pain. Help. This has been a goal of mine since I was a child, a youth. I was the kid who was the only gymnast without my splits. I was the only cheerleader without my splits. And for the longest time, I just accepted it as truth. It was never gonna happen to me. It was never in my cards. Until I realized I am in charge of my own destiny. I can get the splits if I want to. I just have to try. Wish me luck. I don't feel confident. I started off the challenge with a whole lot of confidence, as in I wanted to follow my own stretching routine that I remembered from my youthful days in gymnastics and cheerleading. It was essentially a little bit of something like this, where I'm stretching, my hips, doing a little bit of long lunges, stretching out the hammies, and then just kind of, going for it. Because this challenge was long, it also happened to be a bit of a crossover situation for me. I'm also doing a stretching challenge right now, so I get both my push-ups and my stretching done in the same session. I incorporated it for push-up videos, the Nike training app video, and pretty much every single day for the past 30 days. Stretching. I am still extraordinarily sore, and I can tell my hamstrings are really tight from the kettlebell video that I recently posted. I feel like I've regressed a little bit today. She always walks on my camera, which is a bummer, but it's fine because I just know that now I need to stretch my hamstrings a little bit more, give them a little bit more TLC. I don't know if I'm the only person that does this, but I feel very uncomfortable stretching at the gym. It has nothing to do with comfort, I shouldn't say that. It's more like cleanliness. But I'm just feeling a little defeated. I feel like this is not going as wonderfully as I would have liked. I know it's kind of ridiculous to take on challenges like this, especially when I should know better. I didn't have my splits for the entirety of my entire cheerleading career, which was like 6 or 7 years. And I always got it in my mind that I had too much muscle in my legs that somehow made me less flexible, because one time, one person somewhere told me that, with no validity behind it. Like, I never took the time to look it up. So of course, I do a 30-day challenge and it's fun. That's why I like to do these sorts of things. I don't expect to be a ballerina ankle next to forehead by the end of this challenge, but for me, it's like a good kickstart. It's a fun way to switch up my routine, try something new, try something different. It's all in good fun. And to be honest, for me, sometimes it's just a good motivator. So I know better than to expect to have my splits in 30 days. But I just don't feel like I'm making great progress, and maybe I'm just all in my mind. I don't know, it's just hard, and I'm not great at it. Obviously this makes sense, but the stretches after leg days are the worst. Actually, strike that. It's the second day after leg day. That's the day when you're wobbling down the stairs, this is pain. Pain. Call an ambulance, call an ambulance. Today I'm following MadFit's stretching routine because I wanted to change it up. This is her 15-minute stretch for splits, and it's pretty effing painful, in case you were curious. Super important to square the hips. That's pretty good to know. I'm not gonna go on another breathing rant again, but I think it's also very, very important to note how essential breathing is for stretching in particular. I've always heard, and I will back this up in the editing process with more scientific knowledge. I've always heard that the more oxygen your muscles have, the better they perform, the better they function. And I feel like that maybe kind of sort of applies to stretching, of course. Like, I couldn't imagine trying to do any sort of splits holding my breath. I actually can't imagine doing the splits whatsoever, but holding my breath, especially no. The first half of this video, I was just trying to follow a stretching routine that I remembered from my cheerleading days. However, after doing Maddie's video, I really feel like I'm going to feel a little bit more successful if I stick to either following her video or following other videos of the same sort. The smartest thing that you can do for yourself is listen to people smarter than you. So I think that's what it's gonna take. I think that's how I'm gonna get my splits. These are my legs once I have my splits. Today I am Googling ballerina stretches for beginners on YouTube because that's where I'm at. I'm nervous. I think I'm realizing what I had been doing wrong was there is even more prep than what I even started doing. Like, I initially went into a little bit of the hip flexor, then the extended lunge, then the drawback hamstring, then down. But every video that I'm seeing or something that I find online starts even prior to that, stretching out your hips individually, stretching out your hamstrings individually. But it does kind of at least emphasize to me in my mind that this is more complex than I realized, which I suppose is okay when I'm recognizing that it's pretty hard. But just God bless the kind of people that film these stretching routines. I thank you. That's where we're at. I can't even decide which leg is more flexible. I thought it was my left, but now I think it's my right. Ultimately, it should be equal. I think I'd spend somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes every single night working on my stretches. Sometimes I'd have more focus than others, but I'd often just kind of whip out my phone to help me deal with the pain, but follow along with a video or some sort of instructions from a ballerina or a gymnast who definitely knew more than myself. I did feel like I was making good progress, but that does not stop the amount of hurting that I felt. Don't mind me just pausing to film this while I'm watching Bachelor in Paradise. The juice this season. The absolute tenderness. This is fairly on topic, but it's also kind of important and something I didn't ever know was a thing, and that is mobility training. I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand with stretching, but at the same time, mobility is so important because it allows you to work your joints to almost feel more comfortable whenever you're about to be doing resistance training, for example. I just uploaded this to my Instagram, and what I realized was how bad my ankle mobility is as I've been working on my pistol squats. They're just not fabulous. I shouldn't be putting myself down. They're getting better. I'm really trying to work on them. Now that I actually know to do it, I always make sure to warm up doing some mobility drills before I do my squats, basically before I do any type of strength training, because it's going to help me so incredibly much through every single movement that I do when I'm training. As I'm doing my stretches for my legs, I will be trying to incorporate that. One of my favorite accounts to follow for some great mobility drills is Little T Fitness. Not only is she absolutely remarkable, like just as the most incredible acrobatic fitness movements that I've ever seen in my whole entire life, but she has some fantastic practices and examples of ways that you can strengthen your mobility, fun challenges to try, which I have dabbled in myself. I'm not saying I'm the best, but it's a fun way to, I don't know, play around with it, make it a little bit more interesting. That's my favorite thing to do with fitness. It's to like make it more fun and enjoyable by finding ways to challenge yourself in a way that is not taking all the fun out of it. Like, you can still have fun and it still can be really hard, but you can have a good time. It's just funny. I feel like when I first started my quote unquote fitness journey, which, you know, I've been active all of my life, but kind of when I made that very cognizant decision that I want to do this and I want to go to the gym very actively, I feel like all that I thought of was go to gym, leave gym, go home, you are done. But there's so many other very, I think, empowering elements to living a healthy lifestyle that are so neat and also help you be better in the gym, which then helps you live that that healthy, long-lasting lifestyle that is so impactful. With things like stretching, like this video, with mobility and those sorts of challenges, obviously with your nutrition and your diet, getting enough sleep, drinking enough water. It's very freaking helpful. I don't know, it's like the more I learn, the more fascinating that it is. It's so cool. I also think something that was very discouraging for me for a while was thinking about this as very overwhelming. Like, I think after this challenge is over, if I stop stretching, like, I'm back to square one. And that's kind of true. I mean, if you don't keep it up, you will lose your flexibility. You might lose your strength if you stop strength training. And that to me felt, for the longest time, just exhausting. Like, why even bother? Because how could I even manage to stretch every single night for the rest of my life? It's never gonna happen. But I think something that kind of keeps me going is thinking about it in a very functional sense, like all of the things that I can do because I spend that extra 5-10 minutes a day working on my stretches, and then thinking about it for functional training. Like, you know, next time I'm at the grocery store and I gotta pop into the splits to get those can of beans on the bottom shelf. I don't know, but you know what I mean? Like, I try and think about it in a way that's going to help me recognize how this is improving my life, not feeling overwhelmed by the task or the minutia of it all. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna say it because I know we were all thinking it. This, to me, what is happening with my hair? This, to me, is harder than a workout challenge. I feel more challenged doing this. You know why? It's because I don't have the discipline. I don't have the same drive to sit in my stretches in absolute agony the same way that I feel accomplishment when I do 50 push-ups in a row. Like, that is the difference here. And the harder part is that I'm doing both of these challenges back to back. So I do my 50 push-ups and then I stretch. So I'm also pretty exhausted by the time that's finished, and that doesn't make sense because I feel like you don't have to have this wild amount of energy for stretching, but it is tasking on my little heart. I'm totally making up excuses, but bottom line here is that I feel like I'm not doing well. I feel like I'm probably not pushing myself enough. I'm probably doing it wrong, and it's kicking my booty, and I'm just not flexible. But I don't want to accept that. That's the whole point of this challenge. I want to get better. I want to push myself. But I'm not. This would be one of my first challenges that could be kind of a fail. I mean, I've definitely never had like absolutely amazing life-changing results in just a short amount of time. However, I feel like I've progressed, and I have, but in other challenges, I think I have better. At this point, all of you are just going to believe that I'm constantly this glistening with moisturizer, but it's just that I always film right after I take a shower or I do my skincare, and I'm not patient enough for it to dry. So this is why this has been the look consistently for weeks on end now. I'm not accepting defeat. I'm not, because I have been doing this, honestly, it's been about 5 weeks now because I ended up pushing back the video, so I figured I might as well keep stretching. However, I still don't have my splits. And as I mentioned, I didn't expect to get them, but I did expect to progress a bit more than I have. Doodaloo-doo. This is gonna be my right splits. Oh my good God. There's a little bit of improvement. I'm wearing baggy pants, okay? And left. Oh my gosh, this one's bad. This one's bad. Don't look at that one. Don't look. Don't look. Am I proud of myself for doing something that has long since been a goal? Yes. Am I probably a little bit disappointed because maybe I wasn't as stern as I should have been? Maybe I could have been off my phone while I was doing some stretches? Probably. I'm also sure there were some times where I kind of just half-efforted it. What's the clean way of saying half-assed? I put in less effort sometimes, and I think that definitely shows with the end result. However, I'm still proud of myself. I feel like I made a lot of swift changes in a very short amount of time. But the journey doesn't end here, you know? This is my opportunity to keep moving forward. To quote one of my favorite movies, Meet the Robinsons, such a classic. Would love to turn that on right now. It's just that I get overwhelmed, you know? Every night I wanna do a daily plank. Every night I wanna do 50 push-ups. Every night I wanna do stretches. Like, I'm gonna have a laundry list at this point. So sometimes I feel like in life, you gotta pick and choose, and you can't be the jack of all trades. Sometimes you just gotta be really good at the thing that you're really good at, and that's okay too. Take this as a little inspiration to try that one thing that you've always wanted to do, but you've never set your mind to, because there's never a better time than now. And people say that all the time. They truly do. But do you also listen? Do you listen? I'm calling you out.